Hello, good evening.
I was here. I was here
We
on time.
are 1 minute late.
By we, she means her.
We were having some technical difficulties, but tonight we have a lot to cover. We are talking about training principles because that was this week's YouTube video. We are also talking about 30 days to round. I'm doing a new YouTube series, which is going to be premiering next month, which I'm super excited about. We're going to be talking about flying changes. We're going to be talking about strides. Lots of exciting things.
What's happening next month?
Oh, you haven't heard.
You're right.
Are we going to say that already, or should we wait for more people to listen in? Okay, we'll tell them. So,
pretend you're telling me, and maybe a couple of people else will hear.
So, you know how I've had my YouTube channel for like 7 years now?
Yeah.
And we've been doing a new video every single Wednesday about a training tip every single Wednesday. And so
I've done some of those.
Yes, you have been started in some of those. So my creative juices have been flowing. And I was like, I feel like I need to do something that's a little bit more behind the scenes, that's a little bit more real life. And they said series are doing really well. So I'm going to start it's called, what? Should I reveal the name? No, we're not revealing the name.
Just say you're starting a series of things.
Yes.
A topic, but a series.
And with a horse where it's going to go through the progression of bringing the horse along. So that's going to be premiering next month on YouTube. You're going to be starring in some of them. We already have footage. Little do you know. So
now I'm trying to figure out what horse that might be.
Yes, we have a new series coming, which should be good.
Okay.
That will be announced. I think we're announcing it next weekend. Other things are thumbs up to everyone in 30 Days to Round. You're all doing so great. We did a lecture yesterday morning on rider position here in the office, which I thought it was our best one that we've done together.
Right. We just need the horse head.
I ordered you a horse head.
For those of you who watch, the horse head is coming.
Yeah. So
and hi, Hannah and Barbara.
So Herman did a little. We were trying to do a demo of showing how to use your reins and how not to use your reins. And Herman was pretending to be a horse. And
I got down in front of the video camera and put the bit to my hand. I mean, not that you could see that, but I had the reins there at my mouth. And then she was steering. And
you felt like a horse.
Yeah.
It gave you an impression of what the horse is feeling when we're pulling on the.
And it worked. I mean, it turned me, and then it would twist me when you went across the withers. So
yeah,
it was.
So let us know if you enjoyed yesterday's.
It was insightful for me too to pretend to be the horse and see how that works.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I wonder if we could try to do something like that for people.
Like make them pretend like they're the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I did a clinic one time. It's kind of weird where they had one person kneel on all fours and the other person pretend to be the rider and sit all crooked and stuff.
Yeah, there was God, there was a
anyways.
There was a woman that would do that here. She'd come down, she's from Northern California, and the name will come to me. But anyway.
Was it Wendy Murdoch?
No.
Okay.
It was a mother-daughter team, and it was the daughter. And I saw her sitting on people, and I thought to myself, if I did that, or if she did that to me.
Might not go so well for whoever you're sitting on.
You'd be thinking that attorneys would get involved soon.
Anyways, I think the moral of the story is that, we do want to be aware of how what we're doing, what that really is doing to our horses. And if you're sitting crooked, or if you're using your reins incorrectly, or if you're hanging on the reins, that does have an effect on your horse. So that was the moral of the story from our demonstration. Other things coming up on the October 5th. Sunday, October 5th, I'm going to be doing a live webinar on flying changes, which should be really fun because flying changes are one of those movements that are really hard to train. And it's really important that you understand the correct prerequisites, the correct steps that you need to take in order to teach your horse the flying changes? We can't see your beautiful eyes.
I was
Smile
trying-
at the camera.
I was reading.
Okay.
I'm trying to read.
Hannah said that she loved flexion at the pole. All right. So we have some questions. If any of you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat. This week's YouTube video was all about my top 5 training principles. So make sure that you go over to YouTube and watch that video because it's a good one. Some good reminders in there. So Jody says, I feel like I'm making progress. My biggest issue is at times my horse grabs the bit when trotting and wants to take me for a ride. Will walk trot transitions help? I've tried circles. He seems to get angry and stronger when I circle.
In that circle, you're going to want to really flex and let go of the rein.
You haven't taken it far enough
and
basically.
given enough. Think about the aids in terms of intensity. You've got to be like at 8 and 2, not 5 and 5.5. You want to make that clearer about the flexion and the give.
And also start with it on the ground. So it's basically what I call is inside rein to inside hind. And what that does is Missy's chewing on something. Oh, it's fine. So inside rein to inside hind, it gets control of the inside hind. It gets control of your horse's energy. So if you're going to turn your horse and your horse is going faster, then you're not getting the inside hind to step over. You're not getting the bend that you need. So like her mom said, you need to take it farther.
And also give a little room in the outside. Don't throw away the outside rein, but give a little room in the outside because on the outside, the horse is longer from rib cage to mouth than it is on the inside.
And then do it before your horse grabs the bit and tries to run away because then it's kind of too late. So you want to start at the walk, make sure that you can bend and turn at the walk. Then go up to the trot and do it proactively. Don't wait until you have a problem. Don't you think that's like one of the biggest things in riding is trying to be a proactive rider, not just a reactive rider?
Yes, but it's not that you want to ride preventatively. I mean, I see people hanging on the inside rein saying, oh, I'm bending, and they're just afraid the horse is going to run off. So that's not the same thing.
But if you know it's going to happen.
Right. Well, you just turn before it happens.
Right.
But you make a circle. It's not, oh, I keep his head to the inside by holding onto this inside rein, and then I'm being proactive. That's not proactive. That's making your horse crooked.
You always say, if it happens once, shame on you. Or what do you say? If it happens once, shame on your horse.
Right. It happens twice, shame on you. He already told you he was going to do it.
Yeah. And
then you didn't read the tea leaves. But to that point, yeah. So you flex the horse and you give, and because when the horse's neck is soft, it's a lot easier to move it. But once it's already locked it, there's no way your little arm is going to move that great big neck.
Yeah. Right.
So that's time, because Amelia and I are at a point where we can feel them thinking about doing it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That sixth sense goes off and says, oh, the horse is going to do that thing now. And then we're like, and you supple through and then crack on. But, if you don't have that feeling yet, you do what you just said, which is just do the exercise on the circle.
But that's
and then
experience.
Grow your circle.
That's like tens of thousands of hours of riding where you can actually start to become a thinking rider instead of just following the pattern, which is like if we're teaching a beginner, it's like you follow the pattern, you do this. But then as you get more advanced, you have to start to think about riding proactively or how you need to modify the pattern in order to help your horse.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's another one, which is similar. These questions are from our Stride students. Marlise says, my horse threw his head up in the air, almost like a protest. And I didn't really know what the correct thing was to do in the moment. Do you let the pressure go from the reins or do you keep the pressure until he gives to the pressure? That's a tough one.
I have never had any luck. And I heard that when I was a kid growing up. You hold the reins until they give. And so you're holding, they're leaning, you're holding, and they're leaning more. So you hold more and then they lean more. So you hold more, but I'm going to hold on until they give. I have never had any success with that.
But you also, every time your horse throws their head up in the air, if you just lean forward and give the reins, then that's not helpful
Right,
either.
because then that teaches the horse that the pressure goes away when the head goes up.
So again, it's the same answer as before. You want to make sure that you can bend and turn your horse before they put their head up.
And it's easier just to think about a circle, and you could just think 10-meter, 8-meter circle walk, right? The circle is that inside rein to that inside hind. And it's easier to think about a circle than a turn on the forehand, but it's essentially that you get the horse's head around when it goes up, and that it gets the feeling of when I put my head down, when I release, my rider releases. And it's the timing of your release that is just critical.
Okay, next question. This is a good one from Patricia. How long should I expect it to take to get my horse truly going well from behind? He's 15. I've had him 4 years. I feel like I've been trying forever. I've had lessons. He's ridden by a trainer. I've done 30 days round, rider position groundwork. We feel like we get a little better, but not hugely.
Yeah, it's tough to put a time on it. I mean, the rule of thumb is a year a level. That's the rule of thumb. But
that's like, welcome to the sport of dressage, because here's the thing. Your horse is never going to be engaged enough, collected enough, supple enough. It's like the pursuit of, like, that is dressage, is the pursuit of training, the pursuit of perfection. And you have to, that's why we are so much about celebrating little wins along the way, because you have to celebrate those little wins.
And remember when it was Carl Hester, for sure, he said it, but I think it was at the World Cup when he mentioned, and if anybody has said, oh, your 5-year-old horse, it should be doing this, has never trained a horse.
Right. You can't put a time.
You have a plan, and and there's the 4-year-old test, the 5-year-old for the FEI, the 4-year-old test, the 5-year-old test, 6-year-old test. But that's sort of industry standard, but there's variations within that.
Yeah. And to get your horse really engaged and really active behind, that's like a lifelong thing. And it's not always like, every horse that I've trained, getting the real engagement and the collection, it's not there 100% of the time. And you can't expect it to be, because real collection and engagement is like the equivalent of doing jump squats. It's not sustainable. They can't be passaging every single trot stride, right? They need to warm up slow and soft and supple, and then work up to that engagement and that activity. Wouldn't you agree?
Right. And that's why you have to change up the exercises too, so they can get oxygen again to those muscles.
Yeah, they need walk breaks. But even like my Grand Prix horse, Harvey, when every warm up, he would start off in like a normal trot. Was he engaged? A little bit, right?
Right.
But
it's sufficient for whatever it was you were doing. And then, then you make it a bit more intense here and there. And
then, but at the end, okay, maybe I do a little piaffe passage where, yeah, absolutely, he was engaged and he was active and he was pushing and he was carrying himself, but it wasn't like for the whole 45 minutes that he was engaged. Like that would be, you couldn't hold a squat for 45 minutes and do squat jumps. I don't think anyone could. I can't.
No.
So
the decathlete couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I would love to make that sound effect again. I don't even know what it was though. I don't know. I don't know if it was me or you.
Okay. Next question is Annabelle. She says, training lateral work, travers, renvers, shoulder in. I'd love some tips on seat aids and rider position to ride the movements more fluently, i.e. hips turning, my shoulder position. My horse is very responsive, so I can improve during solo rides. Okay, what's your advice? Lateral work, travers, renvers, shoulder in.
Well, we disagree on the haunches in. I think if you look to the outside, it'll turn you the right way.
But you should be sitting on the inside seat.
Sit on the inside
for all of those movements.
But for the haunches in, if you look back, it takes that outside rein, your outside leg. You can look back. You can also look to the inside. But the real big thing is just to not be stiff.
in your lateral work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then know that you're on two different lines, and your hands and your forearm are on one line, and your legs, your feet are around the other line, and make that twist in your body.
But the twist is in your shoulders, to be clear, because your hips need to stay with your horse's hips.
Right. You're always going to be, your shoulders are going to be parallel to the horse's shoulders, and your hips are going to be parallel to the horse's hips. But when you start doing lateral movements, there's a bigger twist in you.
Yeah. So bottom line, sit on your inside seat bone, turn your shoulders to be parallel with your horse's shoulders, and be able to relax. Don't stiffen.
Yeah. And I think about these things too. In shoulder in, the bend is in front of you, and haunches in, the bend is behind you. When you do your shoulder
That's
in,
a good one.
When you do your shoulder in, the haunches are on the track, and then that bend comes in front of you, and you should be looking at C. And then when you do the haunches in, head, neck, and shoulder are parallel to the track, and your horse's forehead and your eyes should be looking into the corner straight, parallel to the long side, and then the bend happens behind you.
Yeah. And also, Annabelle, you're in stride. So last month or 2 months ago, we did an entire month on lateral work. And the lecture that I did for that month was all about taking you through an entire ride, working up to lateral work. Because I don't know about you, but I think it's really important what you do before you start your lateral work. You need to get your horse forward, round, supple. There's a lot of prerequisites. Make sure you do your leg yields before you start going into the lateral work. Because if you just start going into lateral work and your prerequisites aren't there, then the lateral work's not going to be possible.
And for that one horse now that I'm just starting that work, right? I'm doing a 10-meter circle in the corner. I'm going about to the next letter, say I'm doing about 12 meters of shoulder in, and then another 10-meter circle, and I'm doing 3 or 4 steps of haunches in. And from haunches in, I'm just riding out into a medium.
Yeah. Like that's one of my training principles, which I mentioned in the video, is about simplifying things. So for example, think about a half pass. A half pass, we all agree, is a very complicated movement. So what you want to do is you want to break it down into components. So what does half pass have? Number 1, forward.
Always. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
Number 2, bend.
Those, yes.
Number 3, sideways.
Yes.
So
what about alignment?
Alignment for what?
Well, because
won't you get that with a bend?
You could have the haunches leading.
Okay, but that's like a detail of how to execute the half pass.
Okay.
But my point is that if you're having problem with a half pass, go back and decide what broke. Is your horse not going forward? Is your horse not bending? Is your horse not moving sideways? Is your horse not listening to the leg? And then go back and fix that one component each at a time instead of just trying to ride the half pass.
You can't keep riding a half pass.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, you can't keep riding a half pass and fix the half pass in the half pass. You have to fix those components. You have to deconstruct it, fix the component, then put it all back together, and then go try your half pass.
And that's what I mean by simplify. And that's where I think a lot of you get stuck, is you don't know how to simplify it or how to break it down. Because if you're in a lesson with us, we'd be like, oh, you lost the forward. Let's go back and work on some tempo changes or some walk, trot, walk transitions to get your horse forward. Or, oh, you lost the bend, do a 10-meter circle. We wouldn't just have you keep going in the half pass.
Although I did that to that one poor girl. Do another flying change. Do another flying change. You remember you gave me so much grief about that.
That's not a good training technique. Repeating the mistake over and over again, especially in the flying changes, not so helpful. But
there was no way she was ever going to buy that horse.
Anyways, next question is from Niles. How much can you reasonably expect from the horse physically and mentally so that you don't overwhelm them? I know it will be different for different horses, but how do you know if you've asked for too little or too much? That's a good question.
Wow, that really is feel like when I'm riding a horse and I can feel that they're trying, and then they're just done. You're
Yeah.
giving them something new, and then there's a feeling that they just shut it off, and you're like, okay, we'll do something else now.
But it's something that is developed in your horse. So when you get a young horse, for example, their physical and mental tolerance is very low. It's like a kid going to kindergarten, right?
They can't do calculus. It doesn't matter how much you grind them. 5-year-old boy is not going to be doing calculus.
And also their attention span is much lower. Like in kindergarten, they go for half a day and they have lots of recess. But then in college, you go for what? You have like 4-hour classes of calculus.
Yeah.
So when we train our horses as young horses, mentally and physically, you need to teach them the discipline of it. Like from a young age, you have to send your kid to school. You can't wait until they're college age.
And then try to teach them things because the brain is no longer
right. And so the horses are the same. You have to teach them from a young age. You have to teach them that pressure's okay, like that you can.
And so that's what goes back to the industry standard that there's an FEI 4-year-old test that generally 4-year-olds should be doing that.
Yeah.
The FEI 5-year-old test generally 5-year-olds should be doing that. So that's if you're looking for that range, that's kind of the idea. And so you're trying to get to those those benchmarks.
Yeah. But it's mental and physical discipline that's developed years and years and years over time. I remember when Kensington was a 5-year-old, I said, he has the attention span of a gnat. Like he would just be, what's that? What's that? What's happening? Like, what's going on? And then little by little, 6, he got a little more focused. 7, got a little better, so it's like the mental focus. And then also there's a physical component as well, that they need to develop the strength and the muscling to do the exercises that we want them to do. It's really it's a hard sport. It's a really hard sport. But that's another one of my principles is consistency.
Yes.
Because
that's what makes the work ethic.
Yeah.
Well, he's about to unplug the computer.
So, those are all of our questions for tonight. What other training principles do I have? Let me know in the chat if you watch my YouTube video, if you can tell me what the other training principles are. One of them is groundwork, which I'm a big fan of groundwork because it's just such a useful tool to explain your horse the aids and to give your horse an opportunity to use their muscles and their back without you sitting on top of them. So that's another good principle. What other training principle do you have?
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
No, you don't train like that.
No, but I love that t-shirt.
You're very sweet with your horses. Simplify, consistency, break it down, focus on your rider position, reward your horse. That's another big one. I think that sometimes we forget to praise our horses enough.
I remind never go past an opportunity to reward your horse.
Yeah.
Don't skip that. If there's an opportunity to reward, you're all over it.
Yeah.
You're all over that.
Because they want to please. They want to please. Oh, good. Kate's helping us out. Clarity, positivity. All right. I can tell Kate watched our video. Good for you, Kate. But yeah, it's important to have these like training principles in mind when you're working with your horse, because we all get frustrated in the moment. Like we get frustrated with a movement or something happening. And that's where it's important to just take that breath and to reconsider, how can I break this down? How can I simplify this? Am I being clear? Am I rewarding my horse? Am I just grateful to be on the back of a horse? Because at the end of the day, that's any day that you get to ride is a good day.
It's a good day.
Yeah. So, alrighty, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. What are you doing this weekend?
Lobster season opens tomorrow.
Just going to go catch lobster all weekend.
and hopefully some halibut. We're going to do halibut in the day and then dive at night for the lobster.
Sounds exciting. I'm going to stay home and ride the horses.
And take care of Messi.
Yes. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.